Hello, welcome to 4 Minutes Closer to God. My name is Doug. Today I wanted to do something different in requesting that you would pause on the slides to kind of read through them while I'm talking about something a bit different through them. And so we have the question that's in the world, why are there so many religions? If there's one God, how can he operate in so many different religions? And certainly it will depend on your viewpoint how that works. And so most would say they are the way, and Christianity would say Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And so where do these different viewpoints come from? Starts back in Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. There God claims Israel as his own portion, and the other nations are given over to angelic beings, and they will be under their control. And so those angelic beings then would lift themselves up very often to be worshipped, and God himself alone for Israel lifts himself up above all other of those so-called gods. And so we have Israel worshiping the true God and supposed to take the truth of their understanding to the world of other gods. And so in this we have, for example, the early religion of Buddhism. In Buddhism, what do we say about Jesus? Well, Jesus was considered to be an enlightened person, a wise teacher, so he had reached a high point in their religious understanding. And some would even have called him Bodhisattva, which is high also in their religion. We have Hinduism, which comes around 1500 BC. And in Hinduism, Jesus is considered a Hindu saint, an example of one of the superior ones in their religion. But he could well be called a wise teacher and is so in many religions, but that's insufficient for a Christian. So Christians certainly would say he's a wise teacher, but what about the miracles and the claim to be God and that stuff? And so one of the Islamic monotheistic religion shows Jesus as an important prophet, a wise teacher who even performed miracles, but he was not crucified and he was not resurrected. And so he is of a lesser understanding in Islam than he is in Christianity. Where Judaism, Christianity arose from Judaism, they had a difficult time in dealing with one God, as Deuteronomy 6:4 states, and this person Jesus who claimed to be the Son of Man, which is in an elevated position as if God. And so Jesus, for the Jews, he came to be recognized as a popular teacher. He did exist. He was understood that he was crucified. They wouldn't recognize his resurrection, but he was also performing miracles, and there was an empty tomb about which his was understood about him. How that came to be, they would dispute. And then we have also Christian cults. So what's a cult? A cult is a group of people gathered around one person's interpretation of the Bible. And so we have Mormons, we have Jehovah's Witnesses, we have Christian Scientists as examples of Christian cults. So who is Jesus for the Mormons? Well, he is the brother of Lucifer, spirit brother, and God for the Mormons is was once a man who became through evolution a higher and higher God, and we now as humans can become like God in the Mormon understanding, but you have to be a good Mormon to reach that highest point. So Jesus is not the God as in the Trinity. So Jehovah's Witnesses, there is one God, and then Lucifer Jesus was created as the highest of creation, and then he was the one through whom the rest of creation was done. And so he was at one point the Archangel Michael, who then became Jesus and then went back to being the Archangel Michael. And in Christian Science, he is not the Redeemer, because the world is seen as immaterial and the power and everything is spiritual. The material world is thought less of. And so Jesus did not actually die on the cross. And he is what they would consider the highest concept of divine in a body. And so we have these different religions who have considered Jesus differently, but he is held to the highest esteem in Christianity, and he is held up in the other religions, but not as high as Christianity would require.